for second. Same with Lopez at the moment. It's also a lot faster than Michelitz, about 1.5 seconds. So I suppose even in this lap he will already try to overtake him. So maybe a little bit boring. 1, 2, 3 Chevy is my prediction, or Chevy Citroën is my prediction. Yeah, but it's the same like the history.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's the same in Formula One. Somebody always does a better job with the engineering. They just get the balance, you know, best suited to that year's regulations. What we're hoping is that the guys who have come in late will get a little faster, in the same way I'm sure that Red Bull will get a little faster compared to Mercedes. But, yeah, usually the biggest hammer cracks the egg best, doesn't it? And Citroën certainly brought the biggest hammer to the party this year. Jose Maria Lopez now. Norbert Michelitz, and the Zengo Motorsport Honda didn't really seem to be doing very much at all for Norby last week. He had a gearbox problem as well in qualifying, but in this race, I mean, at the moment he's holding on to 4th place, so he will be in the top 6, which is, you know, where Honda expected to be last week and weren't quite.
No, at the moment they do a great job, especially with the mileage they have done with Michelitz. I mean, Gabriele and Thiago Monteiro, they did quite a lot of testing. Michelitz car just arrived before the first race, even after my car. No, I'm really impressed. He's running here in top 5 and doing a great job. But it's already a few nice surprises.
Now, what are we looking here at the start? Well, Ivan Muller on pole position, the red, white and grey Citroën getting away very slowly. Bit of wheel spin, but it also looked as though traction mapping was over-aggressive and just held him back. Look back for Rob Huff coming through in the red Lada as well. Where do those gaps open up? Look, oh, did he touch the pit wall? He was very close. This is on board with Tom Chilton from row 3 of the grid. And on board here with Thiago Monteiro, going inside Gianni Morbidelli. Well, I don't know if Huff did touch the pit wall, but goodness me, he managed to squeeze through some gaps. They must have lubricated that car well. Jose Maria Lopez still with Norbert Michelitz. This is the battle for 4th. Still only 2 Citroëns on the podium. Tarquini and Michelitz are being very difficult about letting Citroën have their way here in France. Now, of course, this is the home race for Citroën, the race of France, this race weekend. But when we go to Spa, that's an awful lot closer to Alsace, where Ivan Muller and Sebastian Loeb come from. So we can imagine that there's going to be a huge Loeb crowd in Spa-Francorchamps as well.
Well, I think there will be a battle because Spa-Francorchamps is only 2.5 hours from my house as well. So I expect also a lot of Dutch fans.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have a battle of the fan clubs. Sebastian Loeb draws a big crowd wherever he goes, because of course, you know, like Valentino Rossi, he's a global superstar name, isn't he? So he is bringing an extra little frisson of excitement to the championship. But even his fans will pale into insignificance in the next race when we go to Hungary and we get Norby fever again. Whoa! Monteiro holds on from Sebastian Loeb for second place. Tarquini rather holds on from Sebastian Loeb for second place. Yeah. The Norby fan club is here already and will be at every European race.
Hungary, we have always seen a lot of crowd, and that gives a good atmosphere. I think Hungary was one of the best races we've ever had in WTCC, especially when Norby won the race there as well. Yeah, it was more than a superstar status.
Loeb on the inside at senior, and well, Tarquini doing exactly what he needs to do. When you're being chased by somebody, Tom, ignore the mirrors, just drive your car. If he's that much faster, he'll have to drive around you somewhere.
I think here the difficulty for him is...
Lopez put himself in a bit of a tricky position there, trying to go around the outside in a very tight corner.
It was for sure a risky one, but it was possible. I mean, at one stage you also have to try to find places where to overtake him if you're faster, because you cannot stay behind. If you're behind too long, is also the problem. You have the strength and weakness analysis. You can see where somebody else is more fast, and the problem then is that he knows all the tricks how to block you, and this is, I think, the problem also for Sebastian Loeb, because you have Gabriele Tarquini in front of you.
Yeah.
I think one of the most experienced touring car drivers you can find on the planet Earth.
Yeah, if you're trying to pass somebody, Tarquini and Muller are way at the bottom of the list of the guys you want to be getting by. Notice that Ivan was going alongside the pit wall looking for some wet track, so he's obviously feeling that squirm you get when a wet weather tyre gets too hot and it stops feeling like a tyre and more like a jelly underneath you. So he's hunting out the wet patches, but Tarquini and Loeb can't really do that. Gabriele certainly can't. Loeb can, but he's still trying to take second place.
He will overtake him. That's in my opinion not too difficult. He just has to find the possibility how, what, where, but it will happen.
Where's Lopez? There he is. He has got by Michelisz, and Michelisz has now got Rob Huff behind, close behind him. So Lopez got by and was 2.5 seconds in front of Norby at the line last time by. Now, how did that happen? Haven't seen that replay. We saw the contact between them. Both survived. Both are still going. Norby, yeah, last lap at 1:48.7. Pechito's at 1:46.1. So I'm assuming that Michelisz went off somewhere trying to defend. Maybe the first corner, maybe the last corner. Tarquini again, we talk about it so often. Just take the rear view mirror out of the car, throw it away, because if somebody's behind you, that's where they should be staying. And if you drive on the racing line, especially when there's low grip around the racing line, then you have a great opportunity to stay in front. The straights here aren't so long that Loeb can just select top gear and drive straight by him.
Yeah, and tires are going down at the moment because it's not really wet, it's cold. That means that the block, the wear, is not sharp anymore. So there are a lot of edges now who are not strong enough to keep the car in the radius. But if the tires become worse, if you have a car with a lot of grip, like the Citroëns, yeah, then they have the most wear because they use the most grip. So this is probably why also Gabriele is still defending him quite strongly.
Now, slight opportunity for Sebastian Loeb here, and that's traffic, Tom. When somebody else plays a part in the battle, John Philippi there gets out of the way. He started on pole in the TC2 class. His game plan, he said, was to just try and keep the BMWs behind. He's not been able to. He is third behind Franz Engstler and Pasquale Di Sabatino, but Loeb, well, again, he looks up the inside, and he's looked tight into every corner, and as you said, he's working his tyres harder. It looks he's now got no traction advantage at all over Tarquini. In fact, maybe the opposite. Maybe by being precise, Gabriele now has slightly better grip than Sebastian Loeb does. So there's a potential weakness. If you can force them to use their tyres harder, they wear them faster in the wet at least. Tarquini looks like he's done a better job of preserving his place and his tyre.
Well, the good thing is that Gabriele, in the beginning of the race, he was concentrating on himself. There was no fight for him, there was no tight lines for him, so he was clever to keep the tires in good condition.
Well, the other thing, starting on the front row, as we know from years of watching him, nobody starts a front-wheel drive touring car better than Gabriele. He can outstart a rear-drive BMW in the dry, uphill. He's just so good. He just got away and left Ivan Muller, and those 2 laps, that might be the difference between him being second or third or fourth, or, you know, out the back of the pack somewhere. And if he had Ivan behind him, oh, big slide, took a little too much curb there maybe. If you had Ivan behind him, maybe it might be slightly different, but Sebastian is still just learning the finesse of all of this. He tries to go around the outside, and he's got him. And Tarquini has suddenly run out of grip.
But you saw that Gabriele made a small mistake, and this is now where you have to wait for as a race car driver. Wait, have the patience, and Sebastian Loeb did really well. Jacques
Lafitte there in the garage watching the Citroën Racing boys in action. He's here with the TF1 TV crew for their Sunday night show. So Jacques Lafitte, you've got Olivier Panis in the French booth. You had Prince Albert and Monaco here yesterday having laps with Sebastian Loeb. Loeb's old co-driver Daniel Elena. That's attracting all sorts of familiar faces. Of course, we're not too far from Monaco, which helps. Sebastian Loeb now in second place, and here's how it happened. Tarquini drifting out of grip. And Tom Coronel again, that shows that Tarquini's tyres have said, okay, it's enough, got no more now. So the French fan club, they're pretty happy with that. And Gabriele Tarquini continues to challenge Sebastian Loeb. Your race leader is Ivan Muller. He's in front of the second place man in TC2, Pasquale Di Sabatino, in the red, white and blue BMW. And here comes the battle for second place. Sebastian Loeb last lap got around Gabriele Tarquini. Tarquini, after sterling defence for a dozen laps, finally running out of tyre. Jose Maria Lopez in fourth. And Rob Huff challenging Norbert Mikulic perhaps for fifth position. Mikulic, Huff, Valente. This will be a good little battle to the end of the race. Huffy really, with his dander up, wants to get another place away from Norby. And you know what? Doesn't the larder look stable? Huff has really kept his tyres alive well. Oh, and Valente up the inside! He throws it at the apex and misses. Ooh, that was lucky. That could have clattered all three of them off the track there. Again, Tom Coronel, it's about patience.
Yeah, the thing is here, he dived on the inside and he had to go fully off throttle. And then with the front-wheel drive car, you get this big slide, and this was the difficulty he had there. But you know, it's the last lap. This is a possibility. You have to try and see, and I think it's good. You know, he's a wild guy. He's a young guy, and at least he tries.
Yeah, we saw Bernani and Borkovic, and Huff gets through. He was able to hold the tight line, which I thought was very impressive, with the Honda of Mikulic going all the way around the outside, you know, wet racing style, right the way around the exit, the long way around the corner. He was looking for the grip there. Huff found some on the inside because it has stopped drizzling, is slightly getting less wet. A little bit more traction perhaps. Incident involving cars 5 and 37 under investigation. Well, that is Norbert Mikulic and Jose Maria Lopez. Oh, okay. I suppose they have to investigate contact, but there you go. Rob Huff looking for a bit of water to cool the tyres down. Same as Norby, same as Hugo Valente as they go on to the last lap. It's Muller first, Loeb second, Tarquini third. Lopez 4.7 seconds behind Tarquini. Looks like he's not going to make the podium.
Seems like Michelin has some difficulties.
Well, we saw, didn't we, like a light switch, Tarquini's tyres just went off, just stopped, and Norby looks like the same. Couple of laps ago, suddenly no longer competitive, and Valente has gone by him, so Norby has gone from 4th to 5th to 6th, now to 7th place. 8th place, Thiago Monteiro, the red, white and green Castrol Honda. But there'll be some very smiley faces at Larder if Rob Huff takes that car to 5th position. Be one of their best World Touring Car results ever. If we had Wi-Fi in the booth, I'd find out if Tomo finished higher than 5th. I have a feeling he has, but I can't quite recall when. Whatever, the checkered flag awaits, because Ivan Muller is going to win his first race here in France. Ivan Muller has never won a World Touring Car race in France. He's the only driver named Muller who's been in the championship not to do so up until now, but he wins. However, joint championship leader Sebastian Loeb is right behind him in second place, the man who should have started on pole, as Gabriele Tarquini takes third. Jose Maria Lopez will be in 4th place for Citroën, ahead of Rob Huff in 5th. Looking as we see the Honda guys celebrate. Huff is 5th, Valente got by Mikulic and made it stick for 6th. So that means Norby in 7th place, Thiago in 8th, Tom Chilton in 9th place, as they should be coming to the line. And the top 10 should be rounded out by James Thompson, who's been having a ding-dong battle with Chilton, Morbidelli and Munich. The Larder in the midst of 3 Chevrolets. But it is victory for Ivan Muller, and he needed that win just to keep him in the hunt.